Okay, so hello guys, in today's video. Today we have a bit new small series that I want to make, which will be about a Arduino robot that I have built in the last few days. It is nearly done. I hope this series will be something like 5 episodes. I have 3 prepared right now. So we'll see how long it will take to make other parts, but today I want to show you mainly few aspects of my robot, which are listed on my website, which is mainly power supply, motor drivers, and motors themselves, and this whole power sphere or power part of the robot. So let's get started. I have few photos of my robot, so let me show you them. So let's start with just nearly the whole nearly whole. Let's open it in GNU Paint so we'll be able to draw on it. So this is nearly the whole chassis of it. So here is nothing more interesting. Back down there's just a single wheel that can go around, but what I wanted to focus on there is mainly the power section. So two big things we have there. We have there one single motor, which is this guy right in there. This is the first motor. Here we have the second motor, which is right in there. Both of these have built-in gearboxes, so as you can see, the motor itself sticks out of the gearbox there, but the whole gearbox is this section. Here it will be somewhere around there. So yeah, that's pretty much it about motors. To the motors I have glued little thingies like that, and then to them I have glued the wheels themselves, of course. Let's get a fresh image. So what else is interesting there in this robot construction? Of course, this is the back of the robot. I don't want to show you the whole robot at once because I want to make a small series where we can learn a bit about how to construct a small robot. So what I have done here is we have here, let's start with the power for the motors. So power for the motors, I need to change the line width and color of it. So here we have the batteries, the main battery unit that outputs 6 volts. It's pretty powerful. It contains, as you can see, of 4 AA batteries, so when the batteries are fresh, the voltage that comes out of this module is 6 volts nearly. So I don't need to use any kind of booster, boost converter or something like that. So what do we do there on this PCB? Or no, let's start with this module. Here we have 2 wires coming out. This wire, which carries the power, goes above there and to the breadboard. And if I'm right, yeah. No. Of course not. Unprepared video, of course, as always. So here we have our battery module. The cable goes somehow there, I believe, yeah. Then the switch is connected to the same thing, and then the cable from the switch goes somewhere else in the breadboard. So we have, it goes, connects there, goes to the switch, and then from the switch it goes to the breadboard again, so I can switch on and off power for the motors themselves. Here we have the ground, which is of course connected somewhere, because we have shared ground on all of these components. So this is mainly how I have done power. Here we have the small little PCB, which contains of two rails that are there, which is one is the ground, another one is plus 5 volts. This plus 5 volts and the ground comes out there out of the power bank. As you can see, the small little single cell power bank that is made out of one 18650, I believe. 1865, yeah, I believe it is written on the battery itself. 18650, to be honest. So we grab from this little boost converter that is there. You can see an IC and a coil there. It boosts the voltage, that is 3.7 volts in terms of this simple single cell. Turns it into 5 volts. I can charge it from the same converter and then take power from it, and it has all of the circuitry that needs to be there done. So I can just grab, here I have grabbed the power for Arduino, which I have connected to it via USB type B cable, mainly because I didn't want it to boost it of any kind, and just straightly fit it into Arduino. So yeah, this is how it is connected. Here we have another one. Here we have another cables that are going with power somewhere. They are connected to micro USB cable that I want to use in the third episode of this series to show you how to connect and program Raspberry Pi and your robot. So here we have connected those things. So this is mainly wraps it up about what type of power delivery or what type of batteries I have used in my project to supply enough juice for my robot. These ones are only for motors, so they supply power only for motors, and this one supplies for the digital section of my project. So this was mainly the most important part. So here I have a little zoom onto the power bank itself and the wheel. As you can see, it is a wheel that is connected to the chassis itself with bolts and nuts. And here we have the module with the, as you can see, 18650 battery with 3.7 volts, 2.6 ampere hours. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's this simple wheel that goes around, in both directions. It has a little bearing inside, so pretty simple construction. And then let's go over to another part of the robot, which is how to switch motors on and off efficiently. So on the back of the robot, so now we are on the top of the chassis, we are at the bottom, now we are at the top of the chassis, and at the top of the chassis we have those two modules that are called MOS modules. They are called MOS modules because they are MOSFET modules. They contain of a single MOSFET transistor. I don't remember, it was IRF 500 something, but it's not important for us. You can fit in the signal right in there. As you can see, there's the signal input right in here. Then we have the motor output connected there, and there we have outputs for our motors. and we connect the power input there. And what it does, it basically can turn on and off robot wheels or motors or any other load that is can be inductive, can be resistive, can be capacitive load. We can connect it there and we can switch on and off based with this. And you may ask, why there is VCC and ground pin and I didn't connect it anywhere? Because when you have the same ground on the input and on the output, you don't need to connect it there. Sometimes, for example, you want to use this module not to connect a load, so you don't want to connect positive and negative. Sometimes you just want to connect one lead. For example, connect wire together, for example, with transistor. For example, you have transmission line or some kind of, let's compare it to telegraph pole, and you want to short the telegraph pole. You don't, not pole, but the line, and you want to short it, for example, for a certain amount of time. This is how it was transmitted back then, and you can, based on this, you can transmit signal. And then you have one wire there and one wire there, and when you have a situation like that, you need to supply VCC and ground there. So this is about those modules. I have a little zoom to the module itself there. So there is a little zoom. We have the signal, again the line width. So we have little input there, VCC input, and output to the motor itself. Here we have two little protective resistors that protect against high current going into the gate of the transistor, so they just protect it. As you can see, both of them, one is protecting the LED, I believe, another one is protecting the transistor. So this is how it works. It's pretty simple. Here you can see a half like of the breadboard, but this is a thing that we will go into in the second episode. So this is how the construction of this motor looks like. And now I want to show you a simple example in GPaint. Let's do this like that. So let's use this variant for white, and what I want to, let's do it 1000 by 1000, and now let's put black in it, and now I can draw on it with my favorite tool. Okay, so we have our load, for example, on this side. This is our load, and it has mainly two terminals all the time. And you can use, for example, bridges or something like that, but it is more expensive, and I didn't had idea to use something like that. So what I have done is we simply have those two terminals connected to a module and something, but to be honest, it only goes like that. We have our switch, which in my case is utilized via a transistor, and then it is connected to voltage constant current, and this is how it is utilized. Of course, we can do it a bit differently. For example, we can change the polarization of our motor, and then it can go forward and backward, but it is done nearly the same in all the stuff, because we have some kind of MOSFET there. In my case, we have a MOSFET, and we have a gate, we have a voltage constant current right in there. Then here we have our load, which can be big resistor or something else. In our case, it is a motor, and here we connect the Arduino. about which we'll talk a bit more in the next episode. So this wraps it up about the power section of my robot. I didn't use any boost converters or something like that. It is pretty simple thing. And see you guys in the next episode, where I will be explaining how to program the Arduino, how to upload code to it, and mainly how to make this robot do something.